If you've been asked to shelter in place, you're experiencing an unusual situation that could become stressful. If you've been asked not to report to work and you wonder how you're going to provide for your family, you're experiencing a situation that could become stressful. If someone in your family is ill or has a compromised immune system, you're experiencing a situation that could appear stressful. There are many reasons why and many experiences that are capable of creating a stressful environment. But no matter what's happening around you, you're still in control of your reaction to whatever is happening. No one is in charge of your thoughts but you. Welcome, everyone. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, here with you on Angel Heart Radio. And if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed out by all that has happened as a result of this viral outbreak, then I want you to stay with me, because when we come back, we're going to spend time with Archangel Chamuel, the angel of peace.
Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. In truth, nothing can dim your magnificence. You are a divine spark, a universal light. You are here on purpose. You are part of a divine plan, and it's our joy to support you. We're here to celebrate you. Welcome to Angel Heart Radio. Powered by love, Angel Heart Radio is brought to you by AngelLight777.com. Great news, everyone. Angel Heart Radio is now live streaming on our Facebook page, and we have a fully searchable, brilliant podcast platform for you at AngelHeartListen.com. Put the power of the spiritual realm to work in your life with Marcia Martin on Angel Heart Radio starts now.
So let's take a look at all of the help that we have. Whenever we're in a position of stress, whenever we're under any kind of unknown, we have to remember not what's wrong, not the fact that we haven't been here before, and we can't get caught up in everything that we're afraid of. Instead, it's so exceedingly important that we look at everything that's going right, everything that feels good to our heart, and also take a look at all of the incredible help that we have in the energetic realm. So let's begin by putting some important facts at the forefront of our minds. And I am really excited to talk to each and every one of you and give you angelic support throughout this hour that we're going to share together today. So if you have a question, that number is 347-202-0232. If you're calling from outside the U.S., you have to add the 1. 347-202-0232. If you are feeling stressed, if you're feeling uncomfortable, lonely, confused, overwhelmed, call. The angels have a message for you. So let's look at some really important facts that will help no matter what you might be going through. First of all, you are never alone. The angels are always with you. Now, I know that you may say, okay, well, that's nice, but they're not here in where I can see them and touch them and feel them. Well, it's a really good time right now where you may not be distracted with work or other things to spend time in the energetic realm, getting to know the angels and learning how to communicate with them so that you will understand how much help is right around you all the time. It's easy when you feel isolated and alone and confused and overwhelmed to step into panic. But you have the angels, and they are always with you. The other thing we've got to remember is that you choose your thoughts. There is never an overwhelming, malevolent force that is forcing thoughts on you. Your thoughts are the product of your own thinking. I hate to use that, didn't come out quite right. You determine what you think. So millions of thoughts are flowing through your mind every day, probably more like billions. The ones that you pick out of that stream of thought moving through are the ones that you're going to recognize. They're the ones that you're going to attach to. Those are the ones that you are going to be using to activate the law of attraction. And then when you add emotion, whether it is good or bad, you automatically escalate your law of attraction magnetism. So you may be thinking, oh, ho hum, I'm kind of bored. I have to be here. I'm on a shelter-in-place order. I have to stay in my house, and I'm kind of bored. Well, it doesn't have much emotion to it, and it's kind of a statement of fact. But if you were to continue with that thought and keep reminding yourself how boring it is and how bad it is and how tough it is not to have anything to do, you would find that you had moved yourself out of a sort of neutral position into a very stressful place. So let's be mindful of what we are attaching to. What are we paying attention to in the stream of thoughts that goes by? And do your best to pay attention to those thoughts which feel good. The other thing that we have got to wrap our heads around as very important fact is that in this present moment, nothing has happened to you other than you may have been told to stay home for a yet undetermined period of time. Now, we can all get ahead of that and get into what-if thinking and add disastrous scenarios to that. But if we stay in this present moment, we recognize nothing is happening to me except I'm sitting at home listening to this podcast. So let's pull ourselves out of the future that has not yet occurred, away from the past that is not necessarily repeating itself in this moment, and get ourselves right back into this present moment where we recognize that nothing bad is happening. Another thing to remember that is so incredibly important is the energetic realm is where everything begins. So your first line of defense is not to call up your neighbor and complain. It's not to run off to your doctor. Talk about everything that's not going well in your life with anyone who will listen. Your first line of defense is to go within, to go into the vibration of the heart, to go into the beautiful space of the heart where you will align with the divine, and by putting your attention on what's going well, on what feels good, and by communing with the divine source, you will begin raising your vibration, and you will step further and further into the place of unconditional love. And in that space of unconditional love, fear cannot persist. If you are feeling afraid, please don't give voice to the fear. Instead, turn your attention away. Recognize where you are at this moment, and then go within to all of the answers that are waiting for you there. Now, one of the best energies in the energetic realm for dealing with stressful situations is Archangel Chamuel. He is one of our best helpers for overcoming all kinds of stress, anxiety, panic, fear, because he's on the third ray of divine love. He is the representative of peace. His color is pink. He is the energy of unconditional love, and he will help you raise your vibration. And this, in turn, of course, will ease your anxiety and help you step away from the panic button. Now, Archangel Chamuel is particularly important for us today because he is an expert in helping us navigate through circumstances that appear beyond our control. So if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, the world is spinning out of control, I don't know what to do, Archangel Chamuel will help you get back into that place of peace. He is the embodiment of God's love and brings with him a feeling of contentment. You will feel the energy of well-being spreading throughout your body when you call on Archangel Chamuel. So now let's look at our relationship with the coronavirus. We have to, instead of pretending that things don't exist and hoping that they'll go away if we don't pay attention to them, it's really important that we look at it and evaluate whether our reaction is reasonable or fear-based. So, look within your own energetic field. Are you operating out of fear? Has this virus got you convinced that it's more powerful than your relationship with God, that you're now assigning to the virus more ability to hurt you than God has ability to heal you? You need to ask yourself that, and you'll realize, gosh, if I've given the virus all of these qualities that it doesn't, I need to pull back and take a new look. I need to realize that when I'm in alignment with God and I have unconditional love pouring through me, I am in a constant state of renewal and revitalization. Every cell in my body is being restored to health when I am in alignment with a raised vibration. Now, what do you do if you're one of the at-risk people or you know someone who has the virus? Even more important, to raise your vibration and help them raise their vibration and make sure that you are tapping into the feeling of well-being, the energy of unconditional love from God that is the only energy capable of renewing and restoring your cells without any other help. If you are in a position where you feel that you are at risk, would you please always apply common sense? And this means you will take the precautions that you need to take. You're going to be washing your hands more often. You're going to be building your immune system, eating good food, lay off the junk, lay off the sodas, the alcohol, the drugs. This all lowers your immune system. Honor your body. Your body is designed to be well and to restore itself to a healthy state as quickly as possible. You need to do your job by helping your body. And the way you can do that, drinking plenty of fluids, getting plenty of rest, eating good foods, and staying out of a fear-based place where you are constantly pulling yourself out of alignment with God. Because the fear of the disease is much greater than the disease itself. So, important to remember that what you focus on with your emotional attachment is what you're going to experience. It's not a difference between I want this or I don't want this. You determine whether you want it with your attention. So if you are saying to yourself, I don't want the virus. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared. I don't want to get this virus. What if I get this coronavirus? What am I going to do? You are inviting that to find you. Even if you're on top of the mountain, you are calling on law of attraction to bring it to you. So please change your conversation and instead begin telling yourself, I am well, I am happy, I am in a state where I am revitalized, renewed, and restored. I am loving all of the help that I am receiving from the energetic realm. Do your part to attract what you do want, instead of being sad that you attracted with your thoughts, your words, and your feelings what you didn't want. You control your thoughts. Your thoughts are not random or forced upon you. The angels can help you, and they always have the answers. But the only answer and the only place that they operate from is love. So you cannot expect the angels or ask the angels to help you do something that is not loving. So if you are asking the angels to support you in your fear-based thinking, they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to keep turning your attention back to what is. So let's quickly take a look at some of the proactive steps we can take to reduce anxiety and stress. The first thing you need to do is acknowledge that the physical state is challenging. But step out of criticism. If you have found that you are criticizing yourself and being self-condemning, just take a deep breath and step back into the place of kindness and compassion. You're learning, and this is a new experience. Be very loving, very gentle during this time. The next thing I want you to do is to begin breathing. And I know that you've been breathing all along, but this is breathing with presence. This is breathing when you actually have to pay attention to the breath. Breathing in, deeply filling your lungs completely, oxygenating the entire body, and breathing out. Ask nothing more from yourself than this. Breathing with presence. Now I ask that you establish a breathing rhythm. And this is going to give you a little space, a little moment to back away from the challenge. So breathing in, deeply and completely. Exhaling. Slow down the breath. Take as much time as you need. Give yourself space as you give your body revitalizing oxygen. Stress comes as a result of not knowing, of feeling overwhelmed, and of believing that you're powerless. When you regulate the breath, It gives you a sense of purpose. It makes you understand that you are in control. It forces you back into this present moment, and just the very act of breathing with regularity will calm you. Once you feel this calmness descending over your body, it's time to call upon the angels, knowing that they are always available. There will never come a time in your life when the angels are too busy to answer you. And the very act of asking for help short circuits the program in your brain running that says, I'm helpless. Stress may be trying to render you immobile, but when you regulate the breathing and you call on the angels, you are being proactive and stepping away from what's wrong. It's an opportunity to reset your emotional register. It jolts you out of the stress inertia or the stress busy work and lets you step back into a place of peace that reinforces your proactive choice, and it readies you to receive the solution. Nothing is ever withheld from you. Nothing will ever be withheld from you. Receiving does, however, require your participation. So, now we get to the next part. You're breathing and you've calmed down. You're asking the angels for help. And so, what do you do next? Well, I want you first to know and to believe that that help is available. And next, be open to receiving. Breathing and asking for assistance, knowing that it's forthcoming, helps you restore balance. And from that place of calmness, go within, using the breath to relax you. Place your attention on the heart. Enter without resistance and without a foregone conclusion. If you knew the answer, you would not be going into the heart to seek it. So just enter with calm and with openness. And now align and connect and wait in the peaceful place of the heart until the answers arrive. And now let's go to our first caller, calling from 951. Hi there.
Hello, Marcia. It's Nathaniel calling in. How are you today?
Hey, Nathaniel. How are you? And what can the angels help you with today to relieve your stress or just to make things a little bit brighter in your day?
I don't have many friends up here. I moved up here about a year ago, and it doesn't seem like there's a lot of metaphysical people up here. I don't really, I have acquaintances, and then, most of all my friends are Block Talk Show people, so I'm kind of lonely.
Well, Nathaniel, you brought up a really great point. We here in California, as are many other places really around the world, have been asked to shelter in place, which means only leave your home if you need to go get groceries or some other vital thing. And so social isolation becomes a real thing for everyone. So here are the things that we can do. As always, I invite you to commune with the angels, to spend this time learning how to relate with them. What is the way that they're reaching out to you that you are going to be able to understand. The thing to remember is that the angels are not going to speak your language, no matter what it is. So in this case, we're speaking English, but it doesn't matter. They don't speak a human language. They speak an energetic language that is sent to us sort of via transmission, and that it's up to us to interpret this. And there are many ways that you can interact with the angels. You can receive their answers outside of yourself with things like money, feathers, songs on the radio, billboards, license plates, commercials. They can get your attention that way and let you receive a message that way. They can speak with you clairaudiently so that you are able to interpret their sharing with words that you turn into whatever language you speak. It can also be through clairvoyance, where you're able to see them. And clairsentience would be able to feel them. Everybody has a way to communicate with the angels. You just need to spend time working on developing your form of communication. It's going to be your most dominant sense. What we need to always keep in mind is the angels always go the easy route. They are not going to ask you to jump through a lot of hoops and turn into somebody else before they will let you receive an answer. We make it hard. They try to keep it easy. So you go to your dominant sense. It's the thing that the way you learn. So if you learn best by hearing, or you learn best by seeing, or you learn best, you're just kind of a knower, take whichever sense is operating most in your life, and that's going to be your first channel of communication between the angels. As you get more proficient, as you spend more time working with the angels, the other senses will also come online. But in the beginning, just use your dominant sense, and it's going to be easier than you recognize. So the first thing I usually hear from people is, am I making this up? Go with it. If it's loving. If it is cruel or unkind, you've tapped into the ego. Just take a deep breath, realign. If you have to open your eyes and walk around for a few minutes, you can. But realign, get in that heart center, and try again. And just keep trying. So that's one thing. But we have some very wonderful physical resources that we can all do from these places of social isolation. And one of them is Facebook. Please, I have a Facebook group, Healing Hearts. It's a wonderful group filled with people that are just interested in sharing unconditional love. Get active in that group. Other people are lonely and would love to hear from you. And you don't know the kinds of friendships that you may be making. I know they may not all be local, but right now, while we're all forced to stay in our homes, everybody has to kind of go find a different route. The other way, which you can receive some connection or beyond the other social sites, Facebook is just the place where I have the group, is a lot of people, myself included, have really started doing more on YouTube. And I know that this is not as great in terms of interaction, but it is knowledge. And so we can use this time to learn more about the energetic realm, and that helps us stay out of fear. So thank you. That's a really brilliant point, that this can feel like punishment. if we're not careful. But what we need to remember is that we are not being punished. This is not karma for thinking bad thoughts, for doing a bad deed, or for being a terrible population. This is the swing of the pendulum, reestablishing balance. Everything swings back and forth, and we just ride with it. We don't get into fear. Fear magnifies what wasn't into something. Nathaniel, with your good cheer, I invite you to join our Facebook group, Healing Hearts, and be an active participant. People are going to be delighted to hear from you. And there are many people who are needing prayer, who are sick right now, not from, now let me clarify that, not from the virus. I've yet to meet or hear of anyone who has actually contracted this virus. But there are people who are ill from other things. And so we have prayer chains going, and we try to uplift the people, the members of the group, as much as possible. But you, with your wonderful big heart, would be a beautiful addition, as would any listener. So you are all invited to join our Healing Hearts group and to participate as much as you feel that you want to. The more that we uplift each other, the better we all are going to do during this time. So, Nathaniel, what are you doing? I know that you were dealing with recovering from cancer. So what are you doing to raise your vibration? Because we all know that the most important thing that we can ever do in order to stay healthy is raise our vibration. So do you have any good suggestions for people, or do you need some suggestions?
Well, I'm staying positive and staying peaceful, trying to hope for the best here, hoping for the best.
Okay. Now, I just want to make one little correction. We're so used to saying things like, I'm hoping.
Living the best. Living the best.
Yes. Get out of the hopeful place and into the certain place. Certainty lets us know we have truly connected to the divine. Do you remember the little magnetic train cars? I don't know if they still have them. But these were little wooden train cars, and when they got up close, they were magnets, so they would snap together. I want you to think of yourself as a magnet to the divine. You want to get up close and personal with the divine and snap together into that place of certainty, so that no matter what is swirling around you, and this is extremely important for you listeners who are empaths, which an empath is a person who can feel the energy of others, including any being on the earth. If you are an empath, you must spend this time in alignment with the divine. No matter what you choose to call that energetic source, you've got to be like a little train car snapped together with God right now. Otherwise, the fear that many people are feeling could overwhelm you. It's not that they mean it. It's not that they want you to be overwhelmed. It's that they are out of control. But it's their choice. Just as it's your choice that you can stay in control and in a happy place, in a place where you know you're really okay. Smile, sing. That's another thing. In my group, Healing Hearts, someone shared a beautiful little song. The woman is French, and she's singing the song, though in English. The whole video's in English. It's a cute little kind of like kindergarten song talking about how your cells are well. And she makes the really important point that when you are singing, it does a couple of things. It regulates the breath, which we know The breath has a lot to do with calming us. So singing forces your breath to regulate. And when we repeat something, especially when it's melodic or rhyming or any kind of catchy thing, it quickly becomes brain food. The brain gets very attracted to it because it's very appealing. The brain likes things, likes sound that's pleasant. It likes rhyme. It likes things that match. That's why law of attraction is our biggest law, and why we are so bad at the law when we get into fear, because the brain likes to match. So you can be thinking peaceful, loving thoughts or singing a song, and, whoa, you're attracting all this good feeling stuff to yourself. But if you get into fear, the brain is going to be just as happy to match your fearful thoughts as it was matching your loving, kind, joyful thoughts. So you control the brain. It doesn't control you. That's something to really get a firm grasp, really understand that. So important that we understand.
So that would mean you control your happiness or depression. So, if you're depressed, you can stay out of it anytime you want just by changing your brain.
Absolutely. Now, let's be honest, though. It can be really tough if you've allowed yourself to go into a very low place. You already are in self-condemning behavior. You are being unkind and unloving to yourself. So it's very important that you begin the climb up the ladder to joy with self-acceptance. You start accepting yourself where you are, and slowly raise your thoughts to joy. So Nathaniel, thank you always for that wonderful question. And I'm going to put you back on hold because we have another caller, and I want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity, especially, if you are really having a rough time. Use this hour that we share together to call in and to receive the help that you need. That number, one more time, 347-202-0232. And now calling from 785. Remember, this is a public space. You don't have to use your given name, but I just would like something to call you. So calling from 785, how can the angels help you today?
Hi, Marcia. This is Joan calling.
Hi, love. How are you?
Well, I was real curious about your talk with Nathaniel, and I think he might be someone like myself who lives alone. And with this quarantine, so to speak, we have some unique challenges in that we're home and we're alone, and even when we're in public, we're social distancing. We don't have any family members here at the house, and it has been more challenging. I just wondered if you had any thoughts or the angels had any thoughts on that. I know I've taken some steps to alleviate some of that isolation and loneliness, but it is a unique circumstance we're in.
It really is. And, I'm going to encourage everyone, if you know somebody who is at home and is elderly, therefore they are at risk, and you know their phone number, instead of just sitting in your home and saying, oh God, please protect all of those who are elderly, pick up your phone and start calling them. Hello, Mary, how are you? What can I do for you? If they need you to get something from the store, I don't know that it would be safe for you to go into their home. I'm not sure. Not a medical person, and I can't speak to that, and I haven't heard about that. But you can certainly leave leave a bag on their doorstep, and all of us can call to others. Go through your phone contacts and start saying, I haven't spoken to you in a long time, and I'm just wondering how you're doing. How are you coping with this situation? The social media is helpful, but again,
yes,
it's not a conversation back and forth. I being older, maybe my kids would think it was fine to text back and forth, but I think it's really important that we hear each other's voice. And the voice can carry so much calming and so much kindness. And so let's start calling each other. Let's go back to the old time where we just had one black rotary phone somewhere in the house, and the only way we could get to see if our neighbors lived too far was to call them. I can't think that it's really best to invite people over for dinner right now. I don't know. I'm always the one that wants to invite everyone over, but I don't know, because I'm assuming that none of us have the virus, but I would feel terrible if we just were handling it well in our bodies and we gave it to someone else. So you're going to have to use your own discretion in terms of inviting people over, but certainly we can, without endangering anyone, call them on the phone and engage to the degree that you're comfortable in social media, posting and sharing uplifting things. One thing that I have asked everyone to stop doing in my group is, if you want to put up a request for prayer, you are more than welcome. But if you say on the bottom of your request, share this to at least 10 people, or you will have a bad consequence, I'm going to delete your post. That is just trolling for more people to see your post. That is not a heartfelt request. We are happy to hold you in our hearts. You will not share fear and that kind of manipulation in any group that I oversee. So that's my only restriction. Otherwise, everyone is welcome to post anything. And if you are feeling sad, then I want you to reach out and say that. Let's be honest with each other. I think that's the other thing. Sometimes we try too hard to keep a good face on it. And if you're feeling sad, then it's important that you share that so that someone can say, I'm really sorry that you're going through that. How can I make this time easier, better, more joyful for you? Now, you're in a unique situation because of your job. And so you are facing more stress probably than most people. And I don't know if you're comfortable sharing about your job, but I do want to say, if you are a caregiver for any at-risk population, please reach out to someone who is home from work and let them lift you up. You're doing so much, nurses, doctors, security people, grocery employees, and other essential personnel. You are doing so much for others right now, and there are people that are sitting at home with nothing to do. Let them lift you up. So, Joan, do you have
That was one of the nicest things that I found on Facebook. Yes, I am a nurse, and I work in the healthcare industry. So, but I'm in administration management, where I'm working remote for most of the time. But when I'm needed, I do have to go in. But I'm very concerned for my staff, and I had someone post on Facebook something about one of my staff that basically came in and they had just posted a picture, got off of work. We have to take our uniforms off outside our door. We have to launder them immediately and immediately take a shower to protect our families as we come home, or even ourselves as we're, living alone and, then, in our homes on our furniture and maneuvering through our evening or whatever. But this person jumped in and said, "Thank you for your service." And I hadn't heard that. And that was one of the nicest things I could think of, because truly healthcare professionals and those others you mentioned, Marcia, are on the front lines of this war against this virus. And the sad part of it is, and the frightening part of it is that even in my work situation, there's concern of not having the protective equipment because of shortages. So there is a lot of anxiety and concern. And then for myself, working from home and being alone, there's just different ways, to, as all of us have, to try and reach out for that support. But it is a little different, though, having to reach out in a way that's just purely, telemedicine or something over the internet or social media or texting or phone calls versus the physical touch. Because at some point we're going to miss that if we don't have a partner in our lives, children in our lives, where, we're all basically living sequestered in our homes in a safe environment where we can still touch each other unless there's a known risk or a known concern. And then even with that, people who have that have to isolate in a single bedroom in their homes. They have a positive, if they're positive for the virus. But it all poses unique challenges.
It definitely
and I wonder what
does.
the angels are saying. Do you ever hear what the angels are saying about the trajectory of this? Do they ever give any messages about what we can expect, how long this might go, what we're learning through it? What are their messages?
What we are learning from this, first of all, they don't give time because time is so fluid, and it really depends on us. The more that we move toward unconditional love, the faster we move through anything that's coming against us. But the angels never occupy the place of fear, and so they just remind us that everything comes and goes. There are viruses that we've never heard of that have swept across the world, and we just were exceedingly immune to it, and we didn't even know they were there. It's checks and balances. Things grow, things recede. We get back into a place of filtering. The angels every day they say to me, be in love, shared love, help prevent the spread of fear. And when I look at the world energetically, it is like red with fear. There's so much angst. And there are little pockets of disease. And the angels are busy working on helping those move out as quickly as possible. But it's really the fear that is presenting the danger. And that's what the angels are asking us to work on more than anything, is the fear. Staying in alignment with our source, by whatever name you choose to call that source. Staying in the place where you are renewed and revitalized, where you're feeling as though you can almost touch your well-being because you are so in alignment with the unconditional love that is pouring onto the planet. We have not been abandoned because this virus is particularly strong. We are just, many of us, stepping out from under the protective umbrella of God and into the place where fear can really get a stranglehold. So it's very important that all of the health workers and everybody who's out in the public for work take the safety precautions. This is brilliant. This is common sense. But spend as much time as you possibly can in the company of the angels, just renewing your physical well-being. This will pass, and it will pass more quickly with more of us being kind and loving instead of hateful and fear-based. Mm-hmm. If we are to learn anything from this, it is that fear will never solve the situation. So they will never give me an answer like, well, this virus will be gone tomorrow. Nor will they ever say it will last for another year. It's completely up to us. If we are going to come at this from a place of fear where we disconnect from the divine and we start becoming unkind to each other, we are inviting our immune system to break down. We are stepping into the low vibration where the virus resides, and we become all sitting ducks. So the only thing they have shared with me is raise your vibration, raise your vibration, raise your vibration. You cannot be in the penthouse with the divine and be open to receiving the virus that's living in the sub-basement. So
well, that's kind of interesting. You talk about raise your vibration and then talking about the fear, because I've been reaching out to a lot of different people, extended family, friends. If just someone comes to my mind that I know but maybe don't even have a real close connection with, I've been reaching out just to say, I'm thinking of you. I know this is a challenging time. Some local business people I know I've reached out to, and I've gotten really positive responses. But there was actually one person that I had some text back and forth with, and there seemed from the other people I've talked to be a real back and forth, but this person was particularly fearful. And yes, he should be, because he's had a bout with cancer, and that's definitely understandable, and works in the healthcare industry as well. But what I found very different from this person was just in the back and forth talking so much about their fear, their concerns for themselves. And it was very kind of disheartening to me when I realized toward the end of the conversation that this person wasn't expressing any concern for my situation. It was very one-sided. And what you were saying there, Marcia, kind of struck with me in that I feel, from my perspective of trying to keep my vibration high, trying to be bringing everyone I care about and love into the fold of health, into the fold of safety and health, and into that belief, this person's fear seemed to be more off the scale, yet it was so self-focused. Does that make sense?
Yes, and fear almost always does, and it's extremely self-isolating. You, and I want to thank you for doing this, you are being an angel in action. You are raising the vibration for yourself and everyone whom you're coming in contact with. You're doing more to fight the virus than washing the clothes and, all these other things are doing. If we could all follow this example and become angels in action by reaching out to everybody on our contact list and just saying, how are you doing? We will move through this faster and with more grace than if we self-isolate out of fear that our neighbor or someone down the street is going to infect us. It's very unlikely that if you're in that high place of joy, that even if you were to come in contact with the virus, that it would have really detrimental effects to you. Absolutely, I want everyone to take common sense precautions. Common sense rules the day. But please stay out of fear. And be an angel in action. Follow Joan's incredible example of kindness and love and caring. Thank you so much for being you.
Thank you, Marcia.
You're so welcome. And I'm going to put you back on hold. We've got another caller. And now we want to hear from 916.
Hey, it's Nathaniel calling back. I got another phone here, so I'm juggling calls here.
Well, we've only got a few minutes. So do you have any questions for the angels? Anything about what's going on or any way that you want to interact?
I wanted to see if they think that I do have coronavirus.
I'm sorry. Say that question one more time, please.
I wanted to see if they thought that I had the virus.
Okay. So what we're going to do is scan your body and look for any hot spots. Now, I'm not a medical intuitive. This is not my area of expertise. About all I can do is scan the body with my angel eyes on and look for hot spots. And to me, hot spots are places where the energy has become stagnant and it can become a problem. Now, the treatment that is most effective to get back into a place of joy. Do you remember, I don't think you're as old as I am, but there was a gentleman who was told he had a disease. I forget what it was. It was pretty serious. It was considered something that you could not recover from. And he shut himself in a room and watched comedies on TV or wherever. And he cured himself. When he came out of the room, he no longer had any testing positive for this particular disease. I can't remember what it was, but that was groundbreaking in its time. The doctors had already told him, you got 6 months to live. And instead of giving in and feeling sorry for himself, he decided he was going to laugh his way healthy. So always the best cure is to raise your vibration, to bring as much joy as possible into your life, and to use the law of attraction in your favor to bring you well-being, to bring into your body well-being. However, that doesn't mean that you put yourself at risk or stop taking common sense safety measures. So let me just scan your body for a moment. I do not see anything other than some isolated spots that are like pinpricks of panic, times when you may have feared that you had encountered somebody who was carrying the virus. You can see that fear can stay in the body just like health. So whenever those fear moments come to mind, I want you just to take a deep breath, go into the heart, and picture yourself well. Send yourself love and acceptance. Place yourself on a mental screen and just love the heck out of yourself. Just love and love and love. And then go watch a funny movie. Do something that will uplift you and take your mind off this current situation. Or follow Joan's incredible example, be an angel in action, and either get on social media sharing blessings or go down your contact list and call people and share, hey, just checking on you. I would not, because you're recovering from cancer, I would not be somebody who is out in public running errands for people. I don't think that's common sense. I think your body could use a little extra support, a little extra immune building at this time. I don't see any difficulty, but I wouldn't overtax your body's immune system right now. But you can certainly be a ray of sunshine on social media, and you can call people and be a source of genuine love and caring from the other end of the phone. And you can watch happy shows that make you feel good and help you forget about anything that is going on.
All right, well, I'll remember that. I play guitar and stuff. Like I said, I don't have many friends, and I've exhausted people, to try to call. And, there's not many people, I call up shows and stuff. And, so I'll try to stay positive. And I thought I might have had some sour things in my mouth and things, difficulty breathing. I haven't had a big fever yet, but I'm not sure. I thought I had someone that was coughing and stuff. So, I'm not sure that wearing a mask is so good as washing your hands all the time. I heard someone say, but I'm, I'm comfortable either way. If
but Nathaniel,
yeah,
you're going right into a fear place. First of all, a cough is a cough. It's not necessarily the coronavirus. It could be an allergy. It could be a dry throat. It could be anything. Do not make yourself a target by going into a dark place. Join my group on Facebook and get active in the group. There are many people who really could use support right now. Get on your guitar.
Yeah.
You can also go on Facebook and do a Facebook Live and see, maybe you can be entertaining people. Everybody's home, or at least all the people I know are at home.
Right.
And, boredom is a problem. Boredom is causing more than anything else. So, and I think taking walks is great. I would not take a walk in a crowded place, but I don't think any place is crowded right now. But certainly, walking and spending time talking with the animals, looking at the beautiful array that nature puts on a daily basis for us. I'm looking at my flowers. They are blooming and happy and delighted, and they lift my spirits regularly. So
I just saw this bird, and I think another bird brought another bird some food or something, and I don't know, it's kind of like some flowers or something. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, nature is a wonderful tapestry of never-ending joy. But we have to pay attention. We've got to get out of our poor me states and into our place of, okay, I can be an angel in action. I can join different Facebook groups and share positive posts. I can ask people, does anybody need someone to talk to them on the phone? Is someone alone and isolated at home? If so, give me your number and I will call you. People will be delighted to have someone as kind and loving as you give them a call.
All right. Well, thank you, Marcia.
You're very welcome. And just please honor yourself by staying out of a fear place where you can get drawn into, that person must have coronavirus. Well, they could have an allergy, they could have a regular old cold, they could have a dry throat, they could have anything that isn't the virus.
All right, well, 99% of the people recover if they do get it, so.
Absolutely. And most people, I have yet to meet anyone who has contracted the virus. I don't know of one person in my circle that has the virus. And I have to tell you, before we go, even though we're over time, I'm just going to share this. My neighbor is a doctor, and he is, of course, getting all of the notifications from the CDC at the hospital. He works here at a prominent hospital here where I live. And he said, first of all, they have no cases in the hospital where he is of the virus. There are other things going on. But he is saying the precautions, the hand washing, the just being more present with your hygiene is really going to be the most effective prevention that you can engage in. And staying out of fear is always going to support you more than anything can. Now, this is a doctor who is saying, improve your hygiene, wash your hands thoroughly, keep that social distance, and recognize that there is not one case in his hospital. So the whole viral outbreak is slowing down, and they are understanding the virus more and can treat it more effectively as well. So, plenty of fluids, good food, plenty of rest, positive attitude. It cuts down the likelihood that you will receive it. And understand that every day they are making advances in understanding the disease and being able to treat it effectively. But he said at their hospital they have stopped even testing for the virus because they ran out of testing kits, and it doesn't, whether you test positive or not, doesn't change the way they manage the disease. They give you more fluids, they put you on bed rest, and they give you good food. And that's how they're managing the disease. So that's what I want you to do. Plenty of fluids and happy, wonderful, vital attitude. And you will be fine.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Marcia. You're the best.
You're very welcome. But please make sure to get active on social media because people really need to hear from someone loving at this time. And let's all remember, if somebody says something not nice, recognize that a lot of people are being strangled by fear right now. And
even if they're preaching not to be in fear, it's subconsciously, because I've called a couple shows, and some people kind of like they're saying this, but no one is as good at it as you are, because I think you're so high quality, and you spend so much time, and you're so good at this. I just thank you for your service and your loving, experienced, because you're really good.
Well, now the angels are also advising, though, when we give people a free pass, if they say something that's not nice, we can take a minute,
delete.
regroup.
I think the other one was saying, erase, delete, and what's the other one? Delete and something like that.
Yeah, you don't hold on to it. You don't take it personally. However, what I like to do is, okay, somebody says, oh, Marcia, you're an idiot. Okay, gosh, thank you for sharing your opinion or whatever. I understand you may be in a tough place. However, do kind of put a little check mark next to their name and think, okay, I'm going to kind of
Marcia
watch
was
the
not
way
so
this.
stable.
Yeah,
Marcia's
well,
not used to-
I'm going to see whether this is a person that I should be interacting with, or if this is someone that I need to keep at a greater distance because they love to spew negativity and they're really enjoying causing other people anxiety. And if that's your choice, that's what you want to do, that's your choice, good for you. No, not good for you. Then, okay, that's fine. But I will not choose to spend a great amount of time in your company, if any time at all.
Yeah. Well,
So,
someone told me that they thought that I told them that I had cancer in one of my lymph nodes, and they took out the lymph node. And they said, well, I see you getting cancer in another lymph node, and it's going to be inoperable, and you're going to die. Can you believe someone said that? Can you believe someone on Contact Radio said that?
Yeah, thank you, Quack, for spreading fear and negativity. They don't know that, and there are no givens in this world. Even if your body was filled from head to toe with cancer, and you chose to turn your attitude around and stay in a place of well-being, anything is possible with God, and you could receive the healing if it was for your highest good. So absolutely nothing is impossible as long as we stay in alignment with the divine. And we have to step out of this place of, oh, what's going to happen next, and into the beautiful place of whatever is for my highest good is what I want to experience. So let us stay in that place instead of in the place of deep anxiety. So we're over time, but you know what? I'm going to take this last caller. Nathaniel, as always, thank you for being so loving.
Facebook again? Healing Hearts?
Healing Hearts. It's a Facebook group.
All right. Well, thanks again, Marcia. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, honey. All right. Calling from 202, you're going to be our last caller for today. What would you like me to call you?
Napoli.
Hi, Napoli. What would you like to ask the angels? Or what is the circumstance that's causing you stress?
I think everything is causing me stress right now, and I'm trying to be helpful but not put myself at risk.
Good for you.
Yeah, to be helpful and not put myself at risk. I have a family of 5, plus my dad is with me. And then my mother and my stepdad have an issue on their side where he might have been exposed. Well, he knows he was possibly exposed, and so I just feel a lot of pressure, wanting to help and not really knowing how, and to protect my dad on this side. Yeah.
Right. Let's just take a step back. You have 5 people there with you who are right there with you in the home. And your mom and your stepdad, I'm assuming, are in a separate location. Is that correct?
They are, yes.
Okay. So here's what we're going to have to do. It's a numbers game. Mom and dad are in a separate location, and they're okay right now. It might be uncomfortable because they don't have as many people with them, but it would not behoove you to go spend time with mom and stepdad who you know has been exposed and then bring that back and infect 5 more people. So it may make mom and stepdad feel uncomfortable, but you can certainly be there for them by phone. And you can be loving and kind and always, and I forgot to mention this earlier, and I can't believe it because this is my recipe for everything. Always, we can send blankets of pink and gold light, that is just a blanket of unconditional love. And anyone who is open to receiving will receive, it's like a hug from God. So you can't go over to your mom and stepdad's house. That would not be honoring the family that you live with. That would be an unkind thing to do. But you can certainly call, and you can send blankets of pink and gold light, and you can know that the angels will go in your place because you would like to be there. But always common sense has to prevail. You cannot expose 5 people for one. And I am sorry that he was exposed, and you can certainly drop groceries off on the front porch or at the door. If that would be helpful to them and you're not at risk, you yourself are not an at-risk person in terms of compromised immune system. But there are 5 of you in the house, so I'm sure one person is hale and hearty and able to do things like grocery shopping and erranding and things that are necessary. But no one needs to run into the fire to save the one and endanger 5 more. Because the one right now is not in danger. He's got your mom. If he were isolated and by himself, then we would have to look at a different scenario.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's got, and truth is, he has more than my mom. I have siblings who live there, but there's an energy of just separatism right now that I haven't put my mind to it to understand it. So,
well,
I think I felt uncomfortable because my mom reached out to me in a way, and I was like kind of breathtaking because I didn't know how I could help. Except
through your love.
Resources,
and calling her, Mom,
you.
Mom, how are you doing? Yeah. How are you holding up today? I just want to call you and tell you how much I love you. She's got physical resources. You can be a beautiful emotional support if it doesn't cost you all of your emotional capital. So I'm going to ask you before you call to make sure that you're in alignment with the divine so that you're receiving that beautiful outpouring of unconditional love that will move right in through you and increase your own well-being. Before you do anything for anyone else, make sure that you're in a high place of joy and that you are truly connected. Because then you're giving of your angelic, energetic self and not of your human self. So you're not going to get worn down. And we know that when we allow ourselves to get worn down, then the body is less capable of fighting off any kind of thing. It doesn't have to be the virus. It can just be a cold.
Right. It
so
can be anything, You're right.
Stay in your high place of connection. And in that high place, you reach out to other people. Now, if any person that you are reaching out to, any person that you are calling, is being cruel to you, honor yourself enough to say, gosh, I guess this isn't a good time for us to talk. I need to go.
Yes.
You do not have to stay on a conversation, trying to be an angel in action with somebody who is spitting venom all over you. Simply withdraw your energy in the kindest way you can. You don't slam down the phone. You don't join them in shouting and anger. That all lowers your vibration. You simply withdraw and say, maybe we should have this conversation at another time. I'm sorry that you're going through this stressful period. We understand that they can be in a tough place, but we do not allow ourselves to be open and vulnerable because somebody else has chosen to be mean-spirited or unkind. You first. Yes. But that you first should be everyone first. Everyone should first align with the divine. So be the example for the rest of the people in your house. I need a few minutes for myself. I just need to get myself back together. Give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
Yes.
Encourage everyone to take the time needed back into a state of alignment, into a high place, and come together again from your high place.
Yes. I'm glad you're saying this because I really need it for myself. Because a lot of times things come up and it's my first thought is, how can I solve the problem? How can I solve the problem? How can I ease this? And rarely am I
You're
thinking,
a mother, so guess what?
And then after the fact, I'm hitting the headaches and the this, and I'm like, am I sick? And then I have to do my meditation, and I have to get really, really grounded. And it takes a lot. It takes hours and hours of just connecting with others who are grounding themselves for me to get grounded. And it's like, I notice in recent time, it's been very hard for me. Very hard. But
just reverse the order. Connect first and encourage everyone to connect first. Be proactive. You're a mother. Our natural instinct is to run and then ask how I can, run into the fire and then ask, oh, did you have protective gear available?
Right.
We need to take a minute. 5 minutes isn't going to change anything for them, but it will change everything for you. Just 5 minutes sitting in the presence of unconditional love, asking the angels to surround you and support you and to give you the guidance that you need in order to handle this situation with the most good for all is going to change everything and stop you from being completely depleted. You're the most important person in your life. If each person put themselves first and by aligning with God, we would be the most incredible civilization ever. We would all be walking around in this beautiful state of unconditional love, and there would be no fear, no venom, no disease. It would just be paradise. We just have to remember we can do it. We've got the ability. We've got the knowledge. Just sometimes we forget to take advantage of everything that is available to us.
Very true. Very, very true. Very true.
So I'm telling everyone, join my group on Facebook, Healing Hearts. It's a really active community, and it's just about sharing unconditional love so that you can receive a boost when you need it. Also, I have done a lot of videos on YouTube. It's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, on YouTube. I am sharing channeled messages from the angels, also from Mother God, and it will just help you. Different situations are addressed there. I also have a blog. Go to my website. It's mmhearthealer.com or Marcia Martin, thehearthealer.com. Marcia spelled Marcia. You're not alone. The angels are there. It can be difficult in stress to hear the angels, so just use the resources I've already created that are free, YouTube and blogging, and this show every week at 4 o'clock, and Healing Hearts. There are so many free resources that I've already created well before this time, so you're not alone. And if you feel you need even more support, then contact me and we'll work together. You can either join my Patreon community, which is a deeper look spiritually, or you can work with me one-on-one. There are so many ways that you can be supported. Just whatever feels good to your heart. Just let that be your mantra. Mm-hmm. What feels good to my heart this moment? What's going to uplift me and restore me and renew me? And teach others in your household to do the same. And your stepdad is fine. He's going to be just fine.
I give thanks, yes.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
I'm going to start in this place. This is where I need to be.
Amen. I'm going to give you right now a blanket of pink and gold light. Just let me wrap it around you. Archangel Shamuel is in this energy. It's the energy of God's unconditional love. It is only love. And it gives to everyone who is open to receiving it a sense of peace and well-being. Just open your heart and let it flow into your being. And know that you are loved each and every day. And now, before they cut us off, I really am going to go. So thank you so much for sharing your beautiful presence with us. And join me in any way that feels good. Delighted to have all these incredible hearts in my life. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. We went way over today, and we really do have to go. So remember, there are so many resources available to you on my website, mmhearthealer.com, or YouTube, Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. Marcia spelled Marcia. And for those of you who want to go deeper, contact me. You can work with me one-on-one, or for less than $8 a month, you can dive deep into the spiritual journey, receive meditations, information from the divine in the Patreon community, the Healing Hearts community on Patreon. But everything can be accessed through my website. So always, I am sending out blankets of pink and gold light to anyone who will receive, and all you need to do to receive is to be willing. So open your heart to receive. Know that you are loved and that all is well. So until next Sunday, stay in your heart and receive my love this day and every day as you receive love from the divine.
Angel Heart Radio programs should not be used to replace your legal or medical advice, nor your own sound judgment. You've been listening to another fabulous program on Angel Heart Radio. Our goal is to remind you of how much you matter in the world, and to let you know that we appreciate who you are in the world. You can check out who's on, when we're on, and who our guests are at angelheartradio.com. Everything is there. It's all just one click away. Angel Heart Radio programs are powerful tools to help you in your life and your life experience. They are not intended, nor should they, be used to replace your medical or legal advice. The views expressed by hosts, co-hosts, callers, guests, and associates should not be construed as advice from Angel Heart Radio.